Hey, what's up everybody? This is Julian with TRC, and we're out here to talk to Dave about his badass 1968 Mustang. Let's go check it out. Ooh. Oh yeah. Damn, that's cool, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
You want to go for a ride?
Hop in. Let's go.
Come and drive it?
Man, absolutely. I was just thinking that, you know, I love racing, I love tracks, love everything else, but this is my enjoyment right here. Coming out on the country roads and just enjoying, you know, what I built, hanging out and enjoying the peace. And getting on it every once in a while. Hey, I'm David. Today I'm going to share a little information with you about my 68 Fastback Mustang. As far as performance, we ended up going with a Ford Racing Aluminator Coyote crate engine, topped off with a 2.3 liter Ford Racing Supercharger, paired up with the T56 Magnum transmission. Right now, currently the car is tuned, conservatively I believe, 625 to the rear wheels. Plenty of get up and go for what I'm using the car for. We decided to go with the Mustangs to Fear fuel system. We also went with TCI, 4-link suspension under it, and then IFS in the front. The vehicle also has Schott SL65 concave 19-inch by 10 in the back and 18 by 8 wheels in the front. The car is also on the interior of the vehicle. I kind of wanted to add some of the new stuff to it, so we ended up doing a navigation, Sony CarPlay, Apple CarPlay in the vehicle, power windows, power locks, tilt wheel. The vehicle is equipped with air conditioning, and then we also have Ride Tech Air Ride on it as well. Leather interior, all custom leather interior in the vehicle. Everything in the vehicle's been redone, outside, inside. We stripped the car completely and just started building it from the ground up and kind of learn as we went with the vehicle. I get a lot of this, even Mustang enthusiasts that are very familiar with the 68 Fastback and the early generation Mustangs. They look at the vehicle and they're not quite sure what they see. You know, they like it, but they're not really sure the reason why, what stands out. So some of that is due to a lot of the hand fabrication that was done on the vehicle. If you notice the hood on the vehicle right there, that's actually the factory hood, the original hood that we just added sheet metal to it and we ended up building the hood. All throughout the car, you'll end up seeing lots of unique touches that we've done to it. I'm not a big fan of, you know, bolt-on fiberglass parts. I really wanted to make sure that we stay true to a solid steel car as much as we could. Some of the things that you'll notice on the vehicle as we take a walk around, you're gonna see that some of the vents, the upper vents, we've inverted them. The lower side scoops, we ended up extending them out. Also on the trunk, we've added a little bit of spoiler, a little scoop on the trunk there. That's all hand fabricated out of sheet metal. And also on the body lines, we've exaggerated some of the lines. So when you're looking at the vehicle, you can tell that you know, what it is and everything, but we've just kind of add some extra touches to it so that when you look at it, you got to take a second look, and you're not quite sure what it is, but it ended up working out really well for us. So when I purchased the vehicle, I had all these plans that I was going to be the builder and that I wanted to do all these things and everything else, and turns out I don't have what it takes in order to build a car like this. So what ended up happening, I bought the vehicle, I brought it home, super excited, tore the vehicle down to a million pieces, stripped it down to nothing. I started on the build myself. I ended up putting in some of the front suspension in it. We started getting the brackets, everything together to install the engine with some help from my buddies. It just ended up getting to a point to where it was beyond what my capabilities were, and I realized that I needed to call in for some professional help at that time. After searching many shops around, wanting to take the vehicle somewhere that it would be a special project for them as well, I ended up going with a place out of San Marcos, Texas, which is Samson Performance Restoration, and I couldn't be happier with the guys. They ended up picking up the build right where I left off, kept me informed every step of the way. And through the whole process, they did an excellent job with making sure that before they did something, you know, it had my approval. They added a lot of stuff and a lot of ideas to it that really fit what I was looking for. So the guys picked up the ball, they ran with it, and I think they did an excellent job. Samson's Performance Restoration, they did pretty much everything that you can see here. Like I said, when I started with the build, it was in the early stages of it. So a lot of stuff that I did, you're not gonna end up seeing, which is probably a good thing. They installed all the engine, did all the wiring. There's some really cool stuff on the wiring when we get to the underneath the hood of the vehicle. We wired the whole engine into two bulkheads that plug in right to the side of the engine compartment there. We wired the whole vehicle into two plugs, which are the bulkhead wiring that goes right into the firewall, which is pretty neat. If we wanna take the engine out, pull two plugs, motor yanks right out the front, and we can do what we need to do to the engine. Fortunately, at this point, we haven't had to do anything yet, but slide the motor right back in, plugs, boom, we're done. A lot of little touches that we've done on it, a lot of things that they did that really make the car a unique car itself.
Sometimes it gets a little too loud in here. For the quiet drives.
It's crazy because, man, it sticks, you know, like whenever you get on it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it like break loose or anything, which I don't know why.
It goes, man.
Man, I honestly thought we were gonna break loose and it was gonna ride like
We're gonna fucking slide sideways.
I thought.
If something ever happens to me, be the first one to go see my wife, because if she'll sell it to you for what I told her I have in it, you'll get a hell of a deal.
Such a difference without the open headers that you put when you open it up.
We put those cutouts in there. Another thing that we didn't figure out until later on that, I thought it was kind of cool. So we did the mild to wild deal, and every once in a while run it open, but for the most part, keep it closed. It's just really cool to have. Yeah, we probably should have turned off the AC.
You were making those pulls with the AC on?
Absolutely.
Luxury.
Found the car in a really small town, D'Hanis, Texas. Purchased it from the original family owners. Lady purchased the vehicle and drove it, unfortunately, till she passed. And then the vehicle sat in a barn for 17 years. The granddaughter inherited the vehicle. At that point, they decided that they were willing to move on and looking to sell the vehicle. So for me, I think it's a very special build for me. It was the right car that I was looking for. It meant something to the original owners and definitely means something to me at this point. When I started with the vehicle, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, which direction I wanted to go with the vehicle. I had several different ways that I wanted to go. I wanted to do a pro tour, I wanted to do a street, I wanted to do a strip. And so in the end, we ended up doing a little bit of everything, putting the car together and making it really fun to drive on the road, still has good power, good handling and everything else. I built the car not so much for show, although, I get a lot of stuff about it, it's a show car and this and that. I assure you the car is not a trailer queen or anything else. I built the car to drive, I drive the car. Although I have been to a couple shows just because you know, I am proud of it and everything else. So the car's been to Hot Rod and Hatters, which is a very big car show here in Texas. It did end up winning there at Hot Rod and Hatters, and then also in San Antonio at the car show that Tim Duncan puts on there at the Coliseum. I had the pleasure of having my car in the same bracket as Tim's Nova. I came out with a nice trophy on that deal. Love to drive the car to work consistently on a weekly basis, multiple times a week. The car's completely sound, and that's one of the things. I wanted to be able to get in the car and drive it anywhere I wanted. Even it produced in 625, and the way that we have it tuned right now, I have the car running on regular 93 octane fuel. I can pull up anywhere, pump my gas, I'm going down the road. So car's been on some good long trips, haven't had any issues with it, and when it was time to really get on it and see what kind of performance it has, it's never failed. So very happy with that end of it. On the interior of the vehicle, that's something that we ended up sending out to dealer stores here in San Antonio. They did some really cool stuff with it as well. You know, we did all the leather interior in it. In addition to that, we went with aviation carpet in the vehicle. It's a little bit different. It's a little, just something different when you get in the vehicle. You don't see it, you know, all the time. They did some really cool console work on the vehicle, and also the door panels on it, custom door panels, and a lot of the trim pieces on the inside. Completely satisfied with their work as well, so a big shout out to them at dealer stores. I'm pretty happy with what it is, but you know, just like anything else, you know, I worked on this car for 3 years and put all kinds of effort, money into it and everything else. I get the car done and I'm completely excited about it, and then you know how it is. 6 months later, it's like, hey, what can I do to the car now? So I kind of find myself in that phase now. The end goal for the car, I think I've reached it at this point. That's not to say that I'm not going to continue to tinker with it, maybe do some twin turbos, maybe end up taking it out and doing something else. But the exterior of the vehicle, interior, I'm going to stick with what I got, and we'll just see how this works out. But so far, so good.
All right, appreciate you guys tuning in to TRC. We appreciate Dave taking us for a ride. The thing hooks, and it's awesome.
Appreciate you coming out, man. Thanks a lot. We didn't break anything, so it was a good day.